Yay. All right. So if you have been posting on social media and it's not turning into patients, or if you've been like too afraid to post on social media or just not even know what to post on social media, any of these, any of these options, okay? And we're not getting patients, okay? It's not because we're doing it wrong. Let me just start off there. It's not because we're doing it wrong. It's because as practitioners, as educators, as providers, we have been taught the wrong game entirely. So what I'm going to do today then is show you exactly what that means and then what actually works instead. So, and quickly, of course, if you want to know who you're learning from, we haven't had a chance to meet before. I'm Megan Van Noy. I have built a multi-six-figure fee-for-service practice that has brought in over 7 figures over the last couple of years without relying on insurance. And now I help providers create consistent patients and predictable revenue with a real system behind it. So, and before we get to the end, so I don't forget this, because I will also tell you guys here as I'm recording this, I'm just shy of 26 weeks pregnant. So who knows what I'm going to remember and not remember. So I will tell you this before we fully dive in here. Okay. If you stay with me to the end, then you will get a link, and I've got, I'm going to be emailing you guys a done for you content guide for 30 days. So I'm going to help take the guesswork out of it for you for 30 days. Exactly what to post, how to structure it, and how to actually start applying what we're learning here. So that way you're not leaving this training wondering what to do next. Okay. Because honestly, understanding this one thing, like understanding all of this is one thing, right? Like we get it. We're on a training, we're on a webinar. Cool. We learned, but implementing it is actually what it takes, right? You actually have to do the work to see the work out. Okay. So before we dive in, I just want to confirm that you are not the problem. Okay. It's not your effort. It's not your niche. It's not your consistency. It's been following a strategy that was never designed to bring you in patients in the first place. All right. So this training is specifically for you if you are some sort of fee-for-service provider like myself. Okay. I'm a myofunctional therapist by trade, and you may be an occupational therapist, speech therapist, physical therapist, IBCLC. I know there's other myofunctional therapists in here right now. Really functional, holistic. We've had acupuncturists. I mean, you name it. If you're a fee-for-service specialist who's outside of the insurance or the hospital model, okay, and you have been relying on referrals that feel inconsistent, you've been trying to use social media, but it's not actually leading to patients. Maybe you're really good at what you do. We don't have a clear system for like turning attention into actual revenue. Okay. And of course, it's just as important that this is not going to be for everybody. All right. If you're looking for like trends or hacks or how to go viral, this is not that type of training. Okay. If you're building, like, if you're all about the insurance-based model and you just need more volume, this is likely not for you. This is really for the providers who want to create a real system to get those consistent patients and that predictable revenue. All right. Before we go any deeper, we're going to talk about one more thing. Okay. So this isn't necessarily about social media replacing everything you are already doing. Okay. I'm not a big advocate for like, it has to be one thing and one thing only. Okay. I like diversified streams of things. So it's about creating another stream of opportunities that wasn't there before. I have clients who are saying things like, I've had 3 providers connect with me and refer patients to me from Instagram. So it's maybe not even patients, it's providers that you've connected with, right? Another who said a collaboration, this is one of my clients. Katie, we'll talk about her at the end. But she did a collaboration reel, and it got almost 1 million views. I actually checked today. It was at 995,000 views, and it has led to over 100 different potential consultations reaching out. She still gets views and consultations and others from this, and this is from like last summer. So Now, this doesn't actually necessarily mean that every single post does this, right? But it does mean when you understand how to use social media the right way, it starts opening doors that weren't available to you before. And for most providers, even just like additional patient opportunities a month completely changes the way that how stable your business feels, right? So, what you're going to understand today by the end of this training, plan for about an hour, give or take. Okay. Sometimes I talk off cuff. Sometimes I talk really fast like a Gilmore girl. Plan for an hour ish. We may go a little bit early. We may go a couple minutes over. We'll see what happens. Okay. But by the end of this training, you're going to understand exactly why your content hasn't been converting into patients, how to fix it, not by posting more, not by trying harder, but by understanding there's a simple system that turns content into conversations, conversations into consultations. And this is the system that's behind those results. Okay. Social media is not broken. Everybody always wants to talk about the algorithm. It's always changing. Okay. But it's working exactly the way it's designed to work. Right. The problem is you've been taught to create content that makes you look knowledgeable, not content that actually brings you in patients. And those are two very, very different things, right? It's a wrong strategy. Social media isn't meant to replace referrals. I know I said that, but I really want you guys to understand it's not one or the other. Okay. It's meant to give us this consistent stream of patients and of patient opportunities and getting in front of the right people. So you're not just relying on one source to grow your business. Because whether you like it or not, people are already going to social media to get their answers to their problems, right? People are always, I just had a patient contact me today that he's been down some like YouTube rabbit hole and was dropping these names that I've never heard of because they're not actual people in my industry, but they're talking about things you can do to, improve your airway health. And, I'm just like, okay, well, interesting rabbit hole that you went down, right? They're searching, they're watching, they're trying to understand what's going on. They're already going to social media to get the answers to their problems. And the questions becomes, are they finding you to help with their problems, or are they finding someone else? And you've probably been told, right? Post every day, be consistent, educate your audience, grow your following. And eventually that can work, right? But if that were true all the time, right? You wouldn't still be trying to figure this out, right? You aren't missing the effort, you're just missing the structure. Okay. And this is exactly where I have been, doing everything I thought I was supposed to do on social media, right? Show up as an authority, showed up as an educator, posting, teaching, explaining, trying to be helpful. And under this like belief that if you keep showing up, eventually it all works out, right? And that's the part that didn't make sense because I knew I was good at what I did, but business wasn't always reflecting that, right? And what would happen is I would panic every time referrals would slow down, right? I'd be in a groove with a provider. I would be like, they'd be sending me multiple patients a month. I'm like, this is great. We are like business besties, referral besties, whatever you want to call it. And then all of a sudden, I wouldn't get a referral from them for like a week or 2 weeks. And my brain would immediately go because, we're all like self-centered humans. Did they stop liking me? Did they find someone else? Why aren't they sending people to me anymore? And honestly, most of the time, nothing was actually wrong. The office was on vacation. Somebody was sick. They were busy, right? They lost staff and they were in the process of hiring somebody else, right? Like there was just a lag. And of course, it had nothing to do with me, but I made it mean something about me, right? And what I eventually realized is like, if I cannot put my eggs all in one basket, if I was constantly waiting for people to come to me instead of creating more opportunities to be found, then we have a bottleneck, right? So that's when I started to do something different. And once I understood what I'm about to show you, then things have changed tremendously, right? And for the first time, I didn't necessarily feel dependent on whether or not somebody else decided to send me patients. Okay. And for me, if you've been around a long time, you know my story. I had my I built my practice. I partnered with my mentor. I had my daughter. The whole thing blew up, and I had to rebuild my practice. And within 30 days, I was easily over $10,000 and back up to my $30,000 to $45,000 months within 90 days. So, and this is without relying on insurance or relying on just one thing, right? And over time, I've helped providers go from inconsistent, unpredictable months to these consistent 5-figure months that actually has a real system behind it. So, on this side of the ball, the social media side of the ball, okay, the shift really comes down to one simple thing. Okay, it's really important, always, right? And it's not necessarily that I needed to post more. It was that I needed to understand what content was actually supposed to do for me in my practice, because I've been using social media like an educator, right? Trying to explain everything, showing exercises, um, trying to give value, trying to prove that I knew what I was talking about. But that's not what creates patience. Content isn't meant to educate everyone, it's meant to move the right person. And most providers are creating content with no clear path behind it. Once I understood that, game over, right? So I stopped trying to make every post perfect. I stopped trying to say everything in every single post. And I started focusing on one thing, moving someone closer, or one step closer even, to making a decision. And that's where this system comes in. Okay, it's the 3C system here. And what I realized is that every piece of content should do one of these three things. It should lead to a conversation. That conversation should lead to a consultation. And that's it, right? That's the entire flow. The content, the conversation, the consultation, 3Cs. Once you start looking at your content through this lens, you realize exactly why things haven't been working and exactly what needs to change. Okay. Now, I'm going to dive into my 3 big things. Okay. My 3 secrets that I distilled here for you today for us to talk further, for you to take notes. But before we get into this first shift, this first secret, whatever you want to call it, okay, I need to tell you guys something important, because if you have ever thought that private pay, cash pay, fee for service feels harder now, if you have in the back of your mind that maybe people can't afford this, I'm not sure about my pricing, I feel bad, right? None of that up in here. I want you to understand what's actually happening in healthcare right now. Private pay care does not disappear. Okay, it's not disappearing. It's not going anywhere. More providers are going direct patient care, DPC, okay, direct patient care, more than ever before. It's expanding, and more families are already paying out of pocket more than ever before, because, and it's not because they want luxury, they want someone who actually listens to them, right? Because the traditional healthcare system is for the sick, it's not for prevention, right? And it's not meeting their needs. Insurance is slower, access is harder. People are tired of being passed around without answers. So they're looking for specialists. Even when people are using their insurances, their deductibles are high, and the insurance price is more expensive than the cash price. So they're looking for specialists. They're looking for providers who can say, here's what's going on, here's the plan. And at the exact same time, referral partners are more open than ever. Dentists, pediatric providers, lactation consultants, chiropractors, honestly, anybody who this webinar was for, all of us referring back and forth to each other, right? They don't want generalists. They want a short list of trusted specialists. So the opportunity right now is not being everywhere. The opportunity is really becoming that obvious go-to person. And the demand's already here. Okay. And the missing piece is the structure underneath it. And that's all the things that we're going to walk through today. Okay. So this is Katie. She's Southern Indiana OMT online if you want to go look. And this is what this looks like in real life. Okay. Katie did a collaboration reel with one of her patients, and it reached, as of this morning when I double checked, over 995,000 views. Okay. And it brought in over 100 potential consultation inquiries, which is pretty baller. All right. And it's not about necessarily going viral, because that is what she did, but it's also about when your content is designed to create movement. right? It starts opening doors that weren't available to you before. And for most providers, even a fraction of that, right? Even a fraction of 100 plus. I'd have to ask her. I should follow up with her and see what her numbers are at now. But, you know, how many of you raise a hand or in the chat here? How many of you could love or use all you need is a couple more new patients a month, right? A few additional patient opportunities a month. And all of a sudden, life's different, right? It completely changes how your business feels. And again, it's not about going viral. It's about what actually happens when your content's designed to create this movement forward in that 3C framework. Okay. But here's what most providers never realize. The reason most content doesn't do this is because of what I call the educator trap. All right. As providers, I talk about the education trap in a lot of different sections of my course because that's what we do. That's who we are. We want to educate our patients. We want to educate our people. We want to help them. We want to just instill all this knowledge on them because we got all this knowledge instilled on us and you can't unsee it. And then you want to tell everybody else how they can't unsee it, right? That's not what this is for. Okay. No more. All right. This is the first shift that we need to move. And this is where most providers get stuck because everybody's always telling you to like show up as the expert, to teach, to explain, to give value. But the approach is exactly why your content's not converting, right? Most providers are using their content to explain what they do, teach everything they know, break things down step by step, give as much value as possible. And on the surface, that feels right, right? It feels right. It feels ethical. It feels like you've got good integrity. And because you genuinely want to help people, you want to show that you know what you're doing. You want to build trust before someone works with you. And if we're being really honest, a lot of the time you're also trying to prove something. You're trying to prove that you know what you're doing. You're trying to prove that you're a better provider. You're trying to stand out from the other providers in your space. And again, that makes sense. But here's the problem. When your content is designed to impress other providers, it almost always disconnects from the patient because now you're speaking at a level that feels too complex, too detailed, or too far removed from where they actually are. So they don't feel seen. They just feel like they're taking a CE course on Instagram, right? And here's the real issue of this all. Okay. Information does not create action. You can teach someone everything they need to know and they still won't book because understanding something and deciding to do something are two completely different things. Yeah. So you guys tracking? Is this making sense? Anybody spend most of their time on social media educating in the chat, or like you just don't are even on social media at all because you're too afraid to know what to post? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. All right. What actually happens is this: people watch your content, they learn something, they think that's helpful, that's interesting, and then they keep scrolling, right? And your content might be really helpful. It might even be really good, but it's not leading anywhere. There's no clear next step. There's no movement to come into your practice. There's no reason for someone to actually take action. So the shift is this: stop trying to teach everything. Start focusing on finding the right person, calling out the right person, and moving that right person into your practice. Because the goal of your content isn't to explain, it's to create the moment where someone thinks, oh, that's me. Okay. So instead of educating everyone, you want to speak to one specific person, help them recognize themselves in the problem, create curiosity, which then leads to our conversation. And that's where the conversion actually starts. Okay. This is why your content hasn't been working. It's not because you're bad at it, not because social media doesn't work for your niche, but because you've been using it in a way that was never designed to convert. But even when you understand this, right, most providers still struggle to implement it consistently. And that's where the second shift comes in. All right. It's really easy to not follow through. It's like one more thing on your list. It is the it's the next thing, right? And even when you understand these things, like, okay, I'm going to post. Okay, I'm not going to just like teach an introductory course to what I do specifically online, right? Without actually giving anybody CE. Most providers still don't follow through. And it's not because they don't care, not because you're lazy, but because something underneath it hasn't shifted yet. Okay. You have probably told yourself, and you're welcome to call yourself out in the chat if you want to. I just need to be more consistent. I just need to post more. I just need to get better at this. I suck at tech. I'm not good at TikTok or Instagram or YouTube or whatever. Right. But again, if that were actually the problem, you would have solved it already. And in a minute, I will show you exactly what that looks like. The real problem is you don't fully trust what to say. So every time you sit down to create content, you hesitate. You open Instagram, you start writing something, you rewrite it, you question it, and then you delete it and you close the app and you throw your phone across the room and you just like move on and pretend like you never tried in the first place. Anybody ever done that? Maybe. Maybe all of that, Lori says. Uh-huh. Yeah. Catherine says yes. Uh-huh. Yes. Been there. Okay. And if you're being honest, that probably's happened more than once. Yes. Same. Same. Okay. I have been in the online space for 10 years now. And I've had a love-hate relationship with all of it. Okay. And here's the deal, right? And I'm not above this. I've done it. This is one of the biggest things that I have worked on is underneath that you don't want to say the wrong thing. You don't want it to look like you don't know what you're doing. You don't want to be judged. So you hold back because people on the internet can be mean. Trolls are out there. Okay. We've all seen it. So over time, you start to make yourself question, right? That starts to make you question yourself. Maybe I'm just not good at this. And like, that's just not true. Okay. You're not inconsistent. You are unclear. And when you don't feel clear, then you don't move. Okay. And this is what happens when we see this shift. Okay. Our other Lori, we have two Loris. All right. I've had clients say, I finally know what to say. I stopped overthinking my content. I'm actually showing up consistently online now. My message is getting out there. All right. And not because they forced themselves to, but because it finally felt clear. All right. We gave Lori a clear path and she just ran with it. It's been amazing. All right. And the real shift then is this. Okay. Stop trying to be more consistent. Start focusing on getting more clear because more C's for you guys. Tonight's just the night of C's. Clarity creates confidence. Confidence creates action. Okay. Which then creates the consistency that you feel like you're missing. And when you're clear, you don't overthink, you don't second guess, you don't stall, you just show up. And this is the part we fix starting now. And when I shifted, right, you could see how easy creating content can become and how it didn't have to feel so stressful. It didn't have to feel like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. And I opened up the conversations. It opened up to those 3 C's. What do we say? Content, conversation, conversion, or consultation, right? Too many C's now. This pregnancy brain can't hang with all the C's. All right. It doesn't have to be hard. Okay. And yes, there's hooks, and we've got hooks for you. We've got ideas for you. We've got prompts for you. That's part of staying till the end and getting that 30-day done for you to get you some momentum. All right. But even then, okay, even then, we're posting. Now we're getting clear. And then there's our final piece, right? Our final shift, if you will. Okay. That most of us are missing. And this is the part that turns, this is the final part. This is the last puzzle piece. This is what turns everything into these results. Okay. So now we understand what we do. Now things are feeling more clear. Most providers still don't get results because there's one more piece that is missing. And I promise there's no more pieces after that. Okay. It's a 3-piece puzzle. I don't quite know how a 3-piece puzzle works, but let's just call it a triangle. Okay. You can have clarity. You can post consistently. You can feel confident and still not see results because posting alone doesn't create action. What is actually missing is that there's no clear path from your content to someone becoming a patient, right? So even when people are interested, they don't know what to do next. Apparently the slide went a little rogue. Okay, so what most content looks like is what that's supposed to say. Okay, most content is informative, it's helpful, it's interesting, but it doesn't lead anywhere. There's no next step, there's no direction, no movement. And that's what we need to clear up. Okay, if there's no clear path from your content to someone becoming a patient, then what's the point? Okay. What actually creates results is this. Every piece of content needs a clear path. People call it a CTA, all right, a call to action or a clear path, not just something to watch and consume, right? We know if you watch social media at all, we know attention spans are getting shorter and shorter and shorter, okay? We know you only have a certain amount of time to hook someone in, and like you feel like you just have to put it all out there and you got to include everything. Otherwise, people aren't going to get it. They're not going to stay. And that's just not true. Okay. I think right now it says like you have 2 seconds to hook someone. All right. And there's so many ways to hook people. And we've, like I said, there's a social media course that I have as a part of the 6-figure practice builder that's brand new. Okay. First time I'm ever teaching it. I'll talk about that. But you also have the 30-day done for you, okay, where you get to mix and match and plug and play and everything else under the sun. All right. So you don't have to just like get content creation freeze. All right. But more than anything, people need to know what to do next. Okay. If they don't know the next steps and they're just going to think that you're this cool, fun educator who talks about what you do and you're not actually running a business, right? You got to create the business for yourself. They need to not just watch something, but have somewhere to go next. And again, this is where everything comes together. This is the system that I keep talking about. Content leads to conversation. The conversation, I could have made this 4 C's. What was I thinking about? That's fine. Conversation leads to the consultation. And then if I were to put a 4th C in here, I would say the consultation turns into conversion, the currency exchange, the credit card charge. Ooh, so many C's, okay? And that's the entire system, right? That's how we do it, okay? How many of you are missing those really the second and third piece? How many of you are missing all 3? It's okay. That's why you're here. That's why we're here. That's why I'm talking about it, okay? So how that actually works is your content creates the recognition. Someone sees it and thinks, oh, that's me. And that leads to a conversation. Conversation, right, is where they feel seen, heard, understood, safe. You're really cool. I want to work with you. That conversation then leads to a consultation where they want to pay you. And that consultation is where they're ready to decide. And then we're going to convert them because, I'm all about converting those consultations. Okay. I talk about that in my other webinars, in my course, everywhere else until I'm blue in the face. Because honestly, what's the point if we're not taking people's money? Okay. It's not a business if you're not exchanging money for services. All right. So this is what happens when the system is in place. You start getting more consistent inquiries, okay? Your conversations feel easier. People come in already more ready, and then your conversions go up. And it's not because you're selling harder, but because the process actually supports the decision. Jessica's been a private client of mine since last summer, okay? We worked together for 6 months, and then she has been averaging 16 to 22 consultations per month. All right, which is just insane. She only sells programs. She doesn't do fee for service. She's been crushing it. Okay. You can do the math on that one. She's been crushing it. And again, better conversations, higher conversion. Okay. And this is all simpler than we think it is. All right. The most important part is this: you don't need more content. Okay. You don't need more time. You don't need fancy anything. You don't need a selfie light. You don't need, tripods. Right. You don't need to do everything. You just need structure. You don't need to post every day if you're not interested in posting every day. You don't have to make all of your posts a reel if you don't want to do a bunch of reels. You don't have to make all your posts carousels if you don't want to make them carousels. Like, there's no hard and fast rules beyond putting your content through the lens of being a business owner, not just a provider. Okay. This is the shift from from being someone, right, who hopes people find you. Okay. Someone who understands how to guide people to a decision. And this is what separates, I just said this, right? This is what separates the providers from the business owners. Okay. Because the reality is, if you own your own practice, you're a business owner first, you're a provider second, because you can't be a provider if you have no business. Right? Who are you providing care to if there's no one there?
I don't know.
You guys getting it? Yes? All right. Okay. So this is where it all comes together. Okay. This is everything we just walked through. The content. All right. We're looking to convert people. We're not looking to educate people. Now, I will say the education pieces, they do come, right? They come naturally as you're moving this content forward, right? Like, the education piece will shine through because of who you are, because you're a provider. But we still have to use that content to create the call to action, to create the conversation, to push them to the consultation, right? The content, and then there's the clarity, then there's the structure and the system. All right. And this is exactly what we build inside of Six Figure Practice Builder. Because knowing is one thing, actually implementing it is what changes everything. So if you haven't seen Six Figure Practice Builder before, I know we've got some alumni in here, and I always love having you guys here. I always love giving you guys more goodies and love just constantly seeing you guys. All right. But for those of you who haven't had a chance to see it yet, all right, Six Figure Practice Builder, it's not a pile of strategies. It's a complete practice structure built for private pay clinicians who are tired of guessing what to say, how to get patients, how to make their income more consistent. And inside this program, we build the exact system that we just walked through. Okay. So your content leads to conversations. Those conversations lead to consultations. It also shows you, because it's never, again, like we talked about in the very beginning, relying on one thing and putting all your eggs in one basket just puts so much stress and pressure on one thing. And then what? Right? And then what? So I also show you how to create consistent referrals and how to get those to lead to consultations that end with a decision, and how to build an income that isn't dependent on a perfectly full calendar every single day. How to know what to actually say, so you stop second guessing your content entirely. Okay. So you don't have to build this alone. That's what's really nice, as we install it together step by step inside your real practice. And this isn't about learning more, right? It's about fixing what's not working. And when you enroll, you actually immediately, this has been one of the changes for 2026, is you get immediate access to all 12 trainings. Nothing is drip released. You don't wait weeks to fix what's costing you money right now. And alongside of that, you get 12 weeks of live coaching with me. So when something comes up, a piece of content, trying to figure out a hook, trying to see if this is too education-y or if this will actually call in your patients or your avatars or your clients, whatever you guys want to call them. I don't care. Okay. Or how you get stuck in a consultation. Are you talking too much? Are you not listening enough? Right? What are you missing? A referral situation. What happened to this one doctor? Right? You just bring it in and we adjust it in real time. So this is not the same version of the program that I have run before. Okay. I have rebuilt this for what's actually working right now. I've taken everything from 2023, 24, 25, and now in 2026, because the biggest gaps I saw are not effort. It is not effort. All right. It's structure, it's visibility, it's implementation. And as we move through these phases, we fix your foundation, we fix your referrals, your consultations, your positioning, right? We fix what's underneath of that, your mindset, your money patterns, your decision making. And then we install the systems, your marketing, your visibility, your growth plan, your social media, your AI. Okay. So many of you guys and so many of us are solo providers. We don't have a big team behind us. We don't have a front office staff. We don't have a bunch of assistants. We don't have, a billing department, right? You're wearing we don't have a business development person. You're wearing every single hat under the sun. Okay. So how can we buy back your time? How can we buy you back 10 to 20 hours a week using AI without actually like replacing you? Okay. And then of course you also we work on the nervous system, all of the energy, all of that good stuff, to help you sustain it and hold it. And then one of the most brand new is also a 90-day plan to keep going afterwards. All right. Because a lot of times when you're in the energy of other people in the course, you're on your high highs, everything's working out super great. And then when you don't have that support or that accountability anymore, things start to drip and drop. So giving you a plan to go beyond what we're doing keeps the momentum going. Okay. So I've also built out what I call the implementation support layer. All right. Because learning something once and actually applying it inside of your business are two very different things. We all know that. How many courses have you started and like not actually dove into, or started, got into it a little bit, and then like didn't keep going, right? Oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Oh, this happened, that happened. And you spent, multiple $1,000 and you never actually even opened the course, right? So these are the implementation pieces that help you actually move things forward. Okay. They're the pieces that remove the friction and help you move faster. So we've got the 30-day magnetic patient generation gauntlet. Okay. The people love this. It's a step-by-step plan to generate patient demand over the next 30 days. Because again, one of the biggest gaps that I see is you understand what you do, but you don't have a clear path to execute it. So this plan gives you that. So instead of wondering, where are my next patients coming from? You have a structure that actually creates momentum. Okay. And this alone could be sold for $9.97, but this is included for you. All right. Next, you get access to the full template and systems vault. This includes all your paperwork, your referral materials, your marketing frameworks, your back-end systems. I mean, and so much more. There's so much more in there. Reports, treatment plans, letters, verbiage, all the marketing material that I personally use, because a lot of time gets lost recreating things that already exist. And this removes that completely. So instead of starting from scratch, you're starting from what's already working. And again, valued over $2,500, that's included for you. We've got your business setup 101, which is what walks you through how to structure your business, how to price your offer, how to set up your systems for everything flows so things don't feel so clunky. Because again, if your foundation isn't set up correctly, everything else feels harder than it needs to be. So this makes sure your business actually supports your growth instead of slowing it down. All right. And that is included as well. Okay. And then our final implementation bonus here is you get access to my real sales calls recording. Okay. They're up to date. So you can actually hear how these conversations sound, how objections are handled, how decisions are guided. Because again, it's one thing to understand conceptually. I teach it to you and you're like, okay, I'm going to go try it. But to actually hear it in real life, that closes the gap. A lot of people are always asked, can I shadow? Can I shadow? Can I shadow? Like, this is the perfect way to actually come in, watch. And it's actually better than shadowing because you get to watch it. You can pause it. You can rewind it. You can take notes. You can ask questions, which you cannot do if you're shadowing someone and you're there live, right? And you can't rewatch it over and over again. You just have to hope you retained all the information. So you get unlimited access to this. All right. Plus, I also have, this is valued over $10,000 and it's included. And I valued it that way because that's at least how much I made off these calls, right? A little more if you include the cost of consultation, the program pricing they were signing up for. So that, that alone. And then also I have some of my older stuff. You get to also watch other recordings of the past. You can see how my practice has changed. You can see how I've changed, which is really fun. So you get to receive this full implementation bonus. All right. And I want to be really clear. These are not random add-ons. All right. These are the tools that make implementation faster. The gauntlet gives you a plan. The templates remove the guesswork. The setup creates the structure, and the recordings show you how it actually works. So this is what turns learning into momentum. All right. And if you added everything up together, the program, the support, everything inside this bonus vault, it's over, $27,000 worth of value, but it's not priced like a mastermind. It's priced for the clinician who actually wants structure now. And that's when you move into the next steps. Okay. So if you look at just what's inside the system, the support, the implementation, it's already complete. All right. It's not that you need something that you need to add more to. It replaces what hasn't been working. So the investment for the 6-figure practice builder is $1,997 pay in full, or you can use our financing options. So for some of you, this is an easy yes. Some of you who are here are already in the course, which is awesome. You already have access to all this stuff that I'm talking about today. It's already in there. You can deep dive even more fully. You have your full access. So, including the social media course that I'm rolling out this launch. That's all getting added into if you're already in the course, which is really cool. So, for some of you, it's an easy yes, right? And for others, this is where your brain starts going, will this actually work for me? Is this the right time? And that makes sense, right? Because if you're being honest, it's probably not that you don't necessarily want to do this. It's you've tried things before, maybe you've tried things that didn't fully work. And the difference here is this is not built around more information. Okay. This is built around implementation. You're not left alone to figure it out. We build this together inside your actual business. So things actually change. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to walk through a few more things about all the things that are included. But if you're like sitting here and you're like, okay, I already know, let's dive in. This is what I'm missing. I want more of these things. I want the community. You don't have to wait until the end. You can just go ahead and secure your spot now, however you want to do it. You get all the bonuses that we're talking about today. You're here, you showed up live. You're like, I'm great. I'm in. Peace out. Thanks for the last 45 minutes. I am more than happy to, you guys can bop out and that's great. The QR code's up here, so you can just scan it. You're in, you're out, you're on. I love it. Okay. I can also put a linky link in the chat for those who are not, maybe you're on your phone, so you can't do the QR, but you can go ahead, click enroll now. You get, you lock in everything that we've got for you. Okay. In your spot inside the program. All right. But I'm going to walk you through everything so you can fully feel confident in your decision. But if you already know, do it. See you in there. This is your moment. And if you have questions, I will be here. afterwards too. So, because this is the moment where structure becomes real, right? And because we're also in a live launch, I've added even more for you because I think that's fun. And I've got a bonus stack that supports you even further. And I want to say it clearly because the program alone is enough. All right. The bonuses are just here to accelerate your results and make it more fun. So when you roll during this launch, there's a few different layers of what you get to receive. You have the program itself, okay, the support that's built into it, and then you have additional bonuses that are tied to when you enroll. So first is your foundation. That's a 6-figure practice builder, where we build your referral system, consultation process, overall business structure. That's what everybody talks about. Okay. And on top of that, right, you get the bonuses that are structured over time. So the earlier you enroll, the more support you get to step into. So we started this launch at the beginning of the month, and some of you are joining at different parts of the launch. A couple bonuses have already happened. There was an hour one-on-one session with me. There was a group VIP session, and that's just part of how the launch is structured. We've had some people take advantage of that. And now we still have 3 more bonuses available, which was the social media and the AI course, which gives you a full system for what to post, how to stay consistent, how to stop doing everything manually, and how to also utilize AI to help buy back your time. So this bonus expires Saturday, April 25th at midnight Pacific Standard Time. Okay. You also get the next layer of support, which is our back to boot camp, which is where we reset your focus, we rebuild momentum, and we get you ready to fully implement. That is included if you sign up by the 25th. Otherwise, the social media AI is gone, and then you still have this one. And the final bonus, okay, is your kickoff call. So if you are an alumni and you're coming back because you want all the new updates that I've done over the past 6 months to a year, you get to be a part of the advanced coaching track, which you get your own special calls. And if you're a newbie, you get a what the hell am I doing? How do I get started in this kickoff call? And you get the continued support, and you don't go into the course feeling like you're behind and that everybody's ahead of you. Okay. So you've continued support, a clear path for what's next, and that bonus runs through May 9th. So, and if you are still here live on screen right now, we're keeping track of who's still live. I have a show up live bonus that I told you guys about, and then I have a surprise one that I didn't tell you guys about. So if you are still here, if you are hanging out with me, then you also get a 30-minute business audit call with me. Okay. So because you're here today, because you're listening to me yap, taking time out of your dinner time. All right. You get your 30-day done for you content plan. That's being created, and that's going to be emailed out to you. You get a link and all the things. Okay. So you're not leaving this training wondering what to post next. We're going to give it to you. All right. And I will say, all right, we're going to give you options because we want everybody to, have the opportunity to be different. Okay. So we're not going to give you the exact post of all of the people in the same niche. You post the exact same post on the same day. We're giving you plug and play options. We're giving you ways that you can move things together. So that way it's you in your own unique voice. Okay. And then if you're still here, I'm going to send out a link to give you a 30-minute business audit so we can look directly at your practice and map out what needs to change. Okay. So when you enroll now, this is the level of support you're stepping into. The course, social media and AI, back to boot camp, and either alumni or new enrollee. Okay. And then, of course, because you're still here live, you get the 30-day done for you plan and a 30-minute business audit call with me. Okay. So thanks for hanging. I know there's perks to staying to the end. All right. It's the same program. It's just different levels of support. Okay. What kind of support do you want? It's up to you, right? You can join later, but you won't receive everything we talk about today. And the earlier you join, the more support you get. You guys get it, right? So the decision isn't, should I do this or not? It's how much support do I want while I build this? Okay. The earlier you move, the more support you have in place, not because you're rushing, but because you're setting yourself up to do this with guidance. So we're bringing it home. All right. So this is Ashley. Okay. Myo Movement is who she is online. All right. She's now, since taking 6-year practice builder, hired 3 more people. I think it's 3. 2 or 3 more associates to work with her in her practice, and she's just really blown up out there in North Carolina, I believe. Okay. And it's not because everybody comes in feeling this ready. Okay. Ashley said she walked away empowered, more confident, and equipped with the tools to grow her practice successfully. And that's what happens early in the process. You stop guessing, you stop feeling like you're doing everything wrong, and you start operating like an owner. Okay. Katie, right? She went viral. She also worked with her referral providers, and she's been consistently hitting 15K months since. And this is what I love about this. It wasn't becoming about someone else. It was about installing structure so her business could finally hold. And Bernalia, when she had joined the first time, okay, she increased her income 3 times in the first month and then doubled each month thereafter. It's been the best investment for her myofunctional business journey. I'll forever be grateful. Thank you. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for trusting me. Okay. Also, I believe in you guys feeling supported. Okay. Nothing drives me more crazy than the courses out there who don't actually support the people who invest in them. Okay. So what I do is I offer a show your work guarantee. If you do the work, we have a list of the things that you need to do. You bring it into the coaching, you get supported. If you enroll and you show your work, right, you implement the referral rhythm, you bring your consultation structure, and you're not seeing any traction, then I will personally sit down with you and help build out a plan. Because again, it's not a watch and hope program. This is a guide and installation. And my goal is to not have you be left alone inside of it. Oh, since 2023, when I launched this course for the first time, every single person who has shown up, who's done the work, who has made an effort, has earned back their investment. Okay. It is like going to the gym. It is like doing anything else. It is like the work that your patients have to do. You have to do the work to get the results. And those who have done it. So I have yet to have somebody who has not earned back their investment, which is my favorite brag on this course. There's been a couple times where I'm like, oh, this is going to be dicey. And then they always come through, right? You do the work, it all shows up and comes together. And if you're struggling, you let me know. Okay. So here's our real questions. We're bringing it home. All right. Thanks for hanging out with me until the end here, you guys. 3 of the most common questions, right? What if I'm too busy, right? This is built for busy clinicians, right? You don't need more hours. You need better structure inside of the hours that you already have. Sometimes you're like, what if I can't be on the live calls? No problem. We have a Facebook group. You can DM me. You can email me. You get access to the replay. So I'm happy to answer your calls or your questions anytime on the call, whether or not you're there live. You just got to send it to me. Okay. Second, what if I need more help? That's why the live coaching exists. All right. You're not doing this alone. All right. I get to be there with you. That's the whole point. What if I'm not there yet? If you're already private pay or you want to be, you've taken the course, you have your specialty, you're not sure, right? This is exactly where the stage where structure matters most. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be ready to install it. Okay. And of course, the most common question is never a business question. It's a money question, as it always is, right? And this is what we get to practice in order to also then create business with our patients as well. So a lot of clinicians think, Megan, I really want to do this. I don't know if I can spend the money on this right now. And of course, that's always a valid thought, right? Always a valid thought, because when your income has been inconsistent, spending money doesn't feel neutral. It feels risky. And here's what I want you to consider. You're not choosing between investing or not investing. You're choosing between continuing to pay the hidden cost of instability or installing the structure that removes it, because you're already paying, right? Right. There's the cost of the program, or there's the cost of doing nothing, right? The cost down the road of not making any movement, right? You're paying through these patients
Get down.
hesitate and they don't start treatment with you, right? You're paying through months that feel unpredictable. You're paying through underpricing your care. You're reworking your process and your website, and you're tinkering around and you're not getting out there. and you're carrying the weight of not knowing what next month will look like. And that cost adds up real fast, right? We've all been there. Okay. The truth is, one patient, one client, again, whatever you want to call them, doesn't matter to me, should cover the enrollment cost on this. Okay. One person saying yes to you in 90 days should cover the cost of this investment. And it's not because this is magic, but because the system directly affects referrals. It affects the consultations that ends the decision, and it affects who's going to start in your treatment with you. So at this point, there's really only two paths forward here, right? We've got one option: keep doing what you've been doing, trying different things, piecing ideas together, hoping next month feels more stable. And if you've made that work, I respect it. I did that for years and years and years too. Okay. But most clinicians hit the same wall. Business depends on them holding everything together. The other option is to stop piecing this together and install our structure properly. Okay. So we've got Rebecca, of course, right? With Megan's help, I've doubled my practice income in the first 6 months and on track to healthy 6 figures by the end of the year. Minette, I made over $100,000 in 2025 working 8 days a month. Okay. 2 days a week, over 6 figures. I can't believe this. Kelly went from averaging around 13K months to her biggest month ever at 29K. I got a message from our other Lori. All right. Our other awesome Lori. She texted me the other day. We're just going to bring it up in real time. I didn't even put in here because she literally just texted me. And she said, also, I want to share another review for you to use. We just finished our taxes. My tax guy was astonished. I love astonishing men. All right. Working with you has been a true catalyst for my business growth. With your guidance, I increased my revenue over 22%. More so, you helped me create clarity, structure, and confidence in how I run my business. I'm incredibly grateful for your support and highly recommend you to anyone to take their business to the next level. My friend Roxanne was a perfect example. Roxanne also just finished the course. And Roxanne's been crushing it. I can't remember if she said it was for March or April. But she was 12 for 12 on new patients. So she's crushing it too. So which is my favorite part. Okay, here we go. We get to install structure, keep guessing at this point. You already know what this is. We've talked about it. You've seen what creates stability. You've seen what's been missing. So now it just comes down to your own decision, right? Do you want to keep piecing this together, or do you want to do it together with support? So when you enroll now, you're stepping into the full program at the highest level support available at this point in the launch. Plus, you get the extra goodies that I surprised you guys with today when you were here live. Program stays the same, but what changes is the level of support that you receive. So, I said I would pop in and give you guys a link in the chat too. While I go do that, does anybody have any questions? Anybody want to learn any more? Kind of just taking up some time here so I can go get you guys the other link because I love you and want to make life easy for you. Okay, if you're not a QR code person, here's our Stripey link. Good. And again, okay, I will also get you guys, those are here. We'll print off the report for who was here live, and then we'll send you out the 30-day done for you and the 30-minute business audit link where you and I will get together for 30 minutes, put our heads together. I'll give you my biggest tips and action items for what I think you could do to move this forward. All right. The investment right now is $19.97, $1997. Did I say that right? Yeah. You can use the link in the chat. You can use the QR code, secure your spot, lock in your pricing, step in with all the support. All right. And again, if you're still here, we're wrapping it up. Look at me. We're almost right on an hour, you guys. Congratulations to us. Okay. If you're still here, you already know what's been missing. All right. You don't need more motivation. You don't need structure that makes this sustainable. You get to join now, and we'll see you inside. And if you have any questions, concerns, you want to know more, if you're an alumni, you want to know some of the differences, or you want a little more help, just DM me. DM me either at Solo Practice Builder, message me on Facebook, email me. I don't care. You guys know, if you've been in my world at all, you know I always answer your questions and I will not ignore you. So Give me your questions. Ask me. You're welcome to ask any right now. If I don't see any in the next minute, then we'll end it. But ask me on social media. Ask me any questions you have. I'm here to support you. I'm here to help you grow your businesses. Because a rising tide, what is it? Rising tide, all the ships, whatever. Oh, our other Lori. I love all the Loris. This is an amazing program. I've also doubled my practice. Amazing information and support. Thanks, Lori. Also, what the heck? You've doubled your practice. Why haven't you told me this? This makes me so happy. I love this. Yay. Okay. There you go, you guys. In real time. In real time, our other Lori. The Loris are crushing it. If you guys haven't legally changed your name to Lori, you probably should. So you too can crush it. All right. Okay. Thanks for hanging out. Keep an eye on your inbox over the next couple days so we can get you all the links and everything else. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to email me. Please feel free to DM me. You're never bothering me. I am here to support you. That's the whole point. That's why I launched this course ever to begin with back in 2023, because I believe that when good providers have successful practices, the whole world gets to be a better place. All right. Thanks for coming tonight, you guys. I'll chat with you all soon. Bye.